Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. I help you implement systems and strategies in order to overcome the chaos and cultivate simplicity in your home and homeschool. If you're not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified of all of my future videos. Today, I am really excited to be participating in a collaboration with Davine from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool, all about our first day of homeschool traditions. So let's get into it. Okay guys, I was really thinking about these first day of homeschool traditions, and I have to preface this video by saying our first day traditions tend to be interspersed throughout a couple of months of the homeschool year. We practice a slow start, which I will be doing a whole video about that, I think maybe next week, about how we implement a slow start in our homeschool. But as I was considering what to share about first day of homeschool traditions, I realized that we are all over the place when I think about our traditions. We do some specific things each year. However, when we actually do them changes depending on the year. We are year-round homeschoolers, and I've always considered us year-round homeschoolers, but as my kids have gotten older, we have progressively started earlier and earlier in the summer. So when Emma and Jack were really little, I used to start right around the same time that the public school started. And then I would start, in the middle of August. And then it started to be the beginning of August. And then it started to be the end of July. And now it is the middle of July that we start our homeschool year. And so when we start our homeschool year in the middle of July, I'm not necessarily thinking about first day of homeschool traditions. The first tradition that we do actually do on our first day of homeschool is first day of homeschool interviews. And I've been doing these since Emma was in kindergarten. And then I think around second grade, I actually found this free resource. I will leave a picture here and I will leave them linked in the description box. And it is just a series of questions. I think that these were originally for public school students, just the traditional back to school first day interview, but I really love to have them for my homeschoolers as well. And I have years and years of them stored up in our homeschool boxes that I still have not gone through from way back in the beginning of starting homeschool. So that is the first thing that we do. And that is something that I print ahead of time and lay out on the first day of school. And so it is just one of the things that we actually do on the first day of school. Now, all of the other things that we do are kind of interspersed through the first few weeks of school. Things like going through all of our new resources. I like to put out all of the new books that the kids are going to be going through in the coming year so that they can kind of familiarize themselves with the books and see which ones maybe the cover catches their eye and they're excited about. That is one of the other things that I do. In fact, I actually have to put together their homeschool bins, hopefully today, so that we can be ready to start, because we're starting so soon and I'm not 100% ready yet. We're pretty much there, but I definitely have a few last minute things that I have to do. So that is the next thing, sharing all of the new resources with my kids. Now, my older two actually know a lot of their resources because they are fully engaged in the planning process as high schoolers on what they want to study. Some of it is new, but for the most part, I go over everything before we actually purchase the curriculum so that they have an understanding of what they're going to be learning in the next year, and I make sure that we're all on the same page. Very important, in my opinion, with all of your students, but especially your high school students. The next thing that we do now, when my kids were younger, is I would also put out all kinds of new fun school supplies. And that would be things like the story journals from Erin Condren, which we use as written narration notebooks. It would be, new pens and pencils and markers and all of that stuff. But because we start so much earlier than we used to, we've always considered ourselves year-round homeschoolers, like I've said, but starting at the end of August versus, beginning to middle of July, there's a big difference in time. And so we haven't gone back to school shopping yet. It will be one of our activities as we are continuing through the summer with our slow start. They will not have a lot of new stuff on the first day of school. I will have some things, mainly like new notebooks. We get these notebooks from Erin Condren. Like I said, the story journals, which I have a whole video sharing how we use those. I've already given Emma and Lucy their planners. I have not purchased a planner for Jack. Sometimes those will be on the first day of school, especially when we start right at the beginning of August. But because we're starting in the middle of July, they got them, at the end of June so they could set them up for July 1st. Those are really fun things. When my kids were in elementary school, we would get new lunch boxes and new backpacks. Even though we're homeschoolers, one of the things that I have always loved doing is packing a lunch for my kids or having my kids pack a lunch. And the primary reason for that is so that they have all of their snacks and food available and we don't have to interrupt our day to go make food, because it's very easy when you are homeschooling, especially littles and elementary age kids, and actually even big kids, now that I think about it, that they just need a break because they need a snack. And we've always been very open, kids can eat when they want to eat, but having it all contained in a lunchbox so that if they want a snack, they can just take something out. They don't have to go take 20 or 30 minutes to go find a snack. It's very, very helpful. So that is another thing that we have done in the past. New lunch boxes, that kind of stuff, all of those back to school supplies, but we haven't even gone back to school shopping yet. I'm waiting to hear about the Target Teacher Days discount. If you get verified as a teacher, which homeschoolers do qualify, I think they give you 20% off coupon for your whole purchase. And that includes school supplies, but it also includes cleaning supplies and like Kleenex and paper towels and all of that kind of stuff. It's a really good time to stock up on things for the fall. The next thing that we do is a first day of homeschool photo. Now, this is very fluid. It could be on the actual first day of homeschool. When my kids were little, I used to take one. I used to just take a candid snap of them. Most of the time they were in their pajamas, they were in dress-up clothes, they were in a pile of toys on the living room floor. It was always a crazy picture. As my kids have gotten older, I will sometimes forget to take that first day of homeschool photo. And the reason is because we're starting so early, so it doesn't necessarily seem like it's back to school to me. So sometimes I do not get prompted to take a first day of homeschool picture until I see all of my friends whose kids are in public school posting their back to school photos. And so we sometimes have the first day of homeschool photo, sometimes we have the 37th day of homeschool photo. And either of those is absolutely fine. It is still marking the start of our year. We never do end of year photos. I think that that would be a lot of fun to do that, but I've never actually done that. But first day or first month or first 6 weeks or first couple of months, I do try to take a picture of the kids. So those are kind of like the traditional things that you would do on the first day back to homeschool. But then we also celebrate the first day back to public school. And the reason that I want to mention that is because we're homeschoolers, we have that opportunity to do some things when the public school kids go back to school that they are not able to do. And so some of the fun things that we do are going to the coffee shop for breakfast on the first day of public school, or going to the beach on the first day of public school if it's a nice day, or going to Barnes and Noble, taking some sort of trip or field trip to do something when all the kids have gone back to school. That is one of my favorite things, is to take that day and go do something fun because all of the kids are back in school. So pretty much every year we try and do something fun on the first day of public school because my kids are not in public school. So it gives us an opportunity to have some time to do something different when everybody else is back in school. Now, most of my kids' friends are in public school, and so that's kind of why we do these things this way. We don't have a huge in-person homeschool community around us, which we haven't found necessary personally. So finding some of those funny things where my kids can text their friends and say, oh, we're out doing this, or we've gone to the beach or whatever, it's always a fun thing. So I think that a lot of Typical back to school traditions work really well for homeschoolers, but also take the time to celebrate the fact that you are homeschooling as well, which is why we do some of those non-traditional things on the first day of public school, just because, our kids see the bus drive by, they're not leaving to go to school, so let's go do something fun. And it's just kind of a fun way to celebrate the start of the homeschool year. Okay, guys, this was a little bit all over the place, but I did want to share with everybody kind of what we do. We roll into our year. We do a slow start. Like I said, I will have a video about that coming up soon, but understanding that we do not have to jump full on into all of our subjects. We get to kind of test out all of the new things, take time to go through new resources, figure out what is going to work as a homeschool flow for us or rhythm for the coming year. All of that stuff is very fluid at the beginning of the year, and we can try a bunch of different things so that by the time the public school kids go back to school, we're in a good rhythm and we have found our footing for the resources and curriculum that we're using for the coming year. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what your first day of homeschool traditions are. And I realize that mine have changed a lot over the years. The one thing that we do still do is that first day of homeschool interview, but beyond that, it's very fluid. It's not that we're not celebrating the first day of homeschool. It's just that it has become a part of our everyday life. We have created this environment where we're always learning. And so while we do have a particular day when we're starting new resources and new mom school stuff is coming to fruition, my kids are constantly working on their passion projects and other things. So it doesn't seem as much of a big deal to start a new homeschool year as it maybe did when my older two were in elementary. So that's a little peek into our first day of homeschool traditions. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.